Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. This Friday and Sunday in Detroit, I'll be seeing Metallica on the No Repeat Weekend Tour. I'll be seeing both shows. In case you're unaware of what that means, No Repeat Weekend, that means when I see Metallica Friday and Sunday, there's no songs repeated at either set list. All completely different songs. That means a total of 32 songs heard total through both shows, 16 songs per set. Now, I decided a little while ago, and I wanted to film it this week, that I wanted to do a dream set list for both nights. So 2 different dream set lists, what I would love to see. I know it will never happen based on how they're structuring their set list. Like some of these songs you'll just never see on this tour. But I decided to make these 2 dream set lists, and I wanted to present them to you guys and see what you guys think about it, and give me your potential dream set list you would love to see from a Metallica show if you went to both nights on a No Repeat Weekend Tour thing. So let's dive in. Let's check out the set list. I do have both set lists on my phone here. I'm actually going to type it out and talk about it because I was going to try to find another way to showcase the set list I've already have written down, but couldn't figure it out, so I'm going to do it this way. So the first couple songs on night 1 of this No Repeat Weekend are songs you would typically hear at a Metallica show for the most part, but then we start diving into some more crazy ones. So let's dive in here. Let's make sure I'm selected on the right one here. We are recording. We're good to go. Okay. So first up is Hit the Lights. We're going to open up Hit the Lights. They've opened up with Hit the Lights before. Really good opener. Next up is Creeping Death. I was so annoyed because in 2009 at my first Metallica show, they did not, see it's already screwing up, they did not, see, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry guys, I got distracted there for a second. But what I was saying was in 2009, they did not play Creeping Death. And I actually talked to a guy after the show, I don't know who he was, but he was like annoyed and he was talking about it. I'm like, yeah, me too. He's like, yeah, so why do they play Creeping Death? What's going on? Next up, For Whom the Bell Tolls. This is literally, you know, simple stuff here, but then trust me, we're going to get to some ones for sure, because the next one is The Struggle Within. This is a song I remember first hearing for the first time from the Black Album going, holy crap, that is a great closer in my opinion. And to follow up, I mean, I have to do this. My Friend of Misery. These are 2 songs I would love to hear live. Of course, I've heard the live performances, but I want to hear live in person. Great songs. I think it's a great track 11 and 12, My Friend of Misery, Struggle Within, back-to-back on the Black Album. My Friend of Misery is such a good song. It's so good. But yeah, I would love to hear these songs live. Number 6 is actually an underrated song from Hardwired to Self-Destruct, Dream No More. That is my number 6. I love the heaviness of this song. I really wish I could hear it live. I don't think they're ever going to perform it again. They played it a couple of times on the Hardwired tour, or what do they call it? I think they call it something else. But yeah, I would love to hear Dream No More live. I got to hear Spit Out the Bone live on my birthday back in 2018. They actually played on my actual birthday, October 22nd, in my town. So the next up, track number, actually, oh, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I read that wrong. Sorry. I figured I have Too Far Gone. I'm assuming I'm going to hear this live because they have been performing Too Far Gone recently on the No Repeat Weekend. So I'm assuming I'll hear this live, but I definitely wanted to hear this in person. See how it's like the T is closer to 7 than the D to 6? I have no idea what's happening there. Sorry for that. Room of Mirrors, a song that has grown on me. Spelled that wrong. A song has grown on me quite a lot. I really enjoy this song. I love the harmony of this. It's such a great track, Room of Mirrors. So I don't know if they're going to perform it live. My guess is they will perform it live at some point, but my guess is it will not happen at either of my shows this upcoming weekend. Number 9 is To Live Is To Die. Now they've been performing. I think it's in the night slot of their shows. They have been performing instrumentals, but it's always been Orion and Cthulhu. They've not performed Suicide of Redemption, and my guess is we'll never hear To Live Is To Die in one of the slots. But they've been performing Orion and Cthulhu, which is amazing to call it Cthulhu, but I would love to hear To Live Is To Die in person. Because actually my birthday in 2018, when I was waiting to go see Metallica a few hours later, and heard Spit Out the Bone live, and it was my birthday, it was an amazing experience seeing Metallica live. Actually my birthday, they released their like upped quality, like audio and visual of the actual To Live Is To Die only performance at the 2011 30th anniversary Fillmore show, which was great, but still I'd love to hear it in person. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing here, but it's Welcome Home. Welcome Home Sanitarium. I love this song. I think I've heard it live in person once. I believe I have to go back and look at my set list over the years, but I think I have heard it at least once. But regardless, I love this song. It's very underrated in terms of the instrumentals, because people more so go to Fade to Black or One. Welcome Home to me is so good. Number 11, we're getting closer. So another one, Wasting My Hate. They have performed this song a bit. They have performed it more recently. I think the last time was at the 40th anniversary shows, one of the shows they had, Wasting My Hate. But I'd love to hear this live in person. It's such a great track from the Load and Reload era. Number 12 is Damage Inc. It is the one fast track I've not heard live in terms of the staples, in terms of Battery, Blackened, Fight Fire with Fire, which was in 2009 show, Spit Out the Bone. I think that's so Blackened, Battery. Now Dyer's Eve is like that's been a very rare fast track. But in terms of like when you think of like their fast songs they would do in the set list, or in terms of when they were lowered down into like the back half of the set list, it was always Battery, Damage Inc., which is rare, but still Battery, Damage Inc., Fight Fire with Fire, Blackened, and Spit Out the Bone was in the mix. And Lords of Summer was in there a little bit as well in 2019 for some reason. But Damage Inc. is the one song I would love to hear live in person. It's the one song I've not heard live in person in terms of the fast songs they normally put in the fast section. So I'm not going to cut the whole thing. Master of Puppets, no question. I want to hear that song live. It's always a great song. And they're actually closing out, I think, one of their shows with Master of Puppets. And I figured the text was too big. It's going to go to the next page. But regardless, at least you guys can read it. That's the main thing. We're going to throw up a really rare one here. The Unforgiven 2. This is a song I would love to hear live because it's so good. The studio version is so amazing. My only request is, have I ever heard this live, I would love James to perform it with a Stratocaster. I think that's how you pronounce the guitar name, because he's able to bend the notes. Because when he plays on his regular one of guitars he just pulls out for the live show, there's footage of him when they were practicing it in like a room or whatever, not a studio, but like in a tuning room. He actually performed with the Stratocaster and actually did the bending and everything on the main riff itself. It's so good, but when he performs it live, he plays it differently because he can't bend the notes properly on one of those other guitars. So I would love it to be on a Stratocaster because it sounds so cool. Like the quality of that video is phenomenal when he plays the riff. Everyone kept repeating that. You can see on the scrubbing of the video, everyone kept repeating that riff. Number 15 is another one I would love to hear live, Trapped Under Ice. Oh, there's my wife sending me a Facebook notification. Well, you're not seeing it, but I'm seeing it. My wife sent me a Facebook notification. Trapped Under Ice, number 15. Love to hear this live. Would be fucking awesome to hear. I know they had performed it recently, kind of back in 2022 a little bit, but I would love to hear that. And to round out the first show is Metal Militia. Make sure I pronounce that. Yeah, right there. Yeah, correctly. Metal Militia. Would love to be a closer. It's a fantastic closer, in my opinion, on the Kill 'Em All album. Would love to hear it live in person to close out one of the shows. Well, at least the first night, at least in my opinion. But yeah, so that's set list. We're going to go down here real fast, and I'll go to the second set list. So Hit the Lights to open, Into Creeping Death, Into Form the Bell Tolls. I think it's a great 3-track opener in terms of the first 2 records, in terms of highlighting them. Struggle Within, then Reversing, My Friend in Misery, which they did perform when they did the Black Album backwards. It kind of makes sense. Then To Dream No More, Too Far Gone, Room of Mirrors, 2 new songs back to back. To Live Is to Die, my favorite Metallica song of all time. Welcome Home, Wasting My Hate, Damage Inc., Master of Puppets, The Unforgiven 2, Trapped Under Ice, and Metal Militia to close out the 16-song night. And then, yeah, this would be really cool. So let's go on to night 2. Now on to Metallica set list number 2, the second night. Let's dive in here, guys, and let's go. So opening up, we're going to go with Battery. I love this song. Would love to hear it live. Again, they actually performed this at the 2017 show. I think they have performed Battery as an opener. I was kind of thinking that a little bit in terms of somewhat of a structure. Not really, obviously, because this thing isn't really structured really. Like, this one definitely is more crazy, in my opinion, than night 1 for night 2. But Battery, they have done Battery as an opener, so I think that would be really good. Next up is the Four Horsemen. I remember hearing the Four Horsemen live in person back in 2009. It was a great song to hear in person live because it was a great song in the studio version. And this was back then in 2009 where there wasn't a lot of like live recordings. There were some, but it wasn't like it is prevalent today. But hearing that live in person, hearing the Four Horsemen, that riff kick in, I'm like, this is fucking great. And it really was. So we're going to go a little obscure here. Another obscure track, Hell and Back, from, of course, the Beyond Magnetic EP. Of course, the 4 songs that were not included on Death Magnetic was the demo versions. Hell and Back is one of those songs that is really catchy. And they did perform it a little bit. And I think in 2013 that they pulled it out to play it somewhat. Audience didn't respond too well to it, so that's why they cut it. I feel like maybe, they were just wanted to put something back in the set list, but I was glad they actually pulled it out. So that's why I put it in there, because they did perform it outside of, because when they did the Fillmore 30th anniversary, they did one night, one new song from Beyond Magnetic. And Hell and Back is the only one they performed outside of those Fillmore shows a little bit on a tour. So I put Hell and Back as number 3. I thought it'd be really cool to hear that. Until It Sleeps. Now, I have a chance to hear this live, apparently, because they have been performing Until It Sleeps a little bit on the No Repeat Weekend tour. It's not every single, city gets it one of the nights. It sometimes comes, sometimes goes. So there's a chance, because I believe on the 2 nights they performed the previous weekend, they did not perform Until It Sleeps. So I have a chance to hear this live in person. It'd be really cool if I did. We're going to go 72 Seasons. This is one of those songs I know I will hear live in person for sure. I can't wait to hear it live. Now, I've seen live performances, reacts to the first official live performance, even though it wasn't in front of an audience. It was in like a kind of concert filming setting, but there was no one actually in the audience to listen to it really. But it was cool to hear it live, and I've seen some other live videos, so we're gonna go with 72 Seasons. So next up is Am I Savage? Another, I'm trying to think, did they perform this? I don't think they performed this live. I don't think they performed Am I Savage live. I don't think so. I would love to hear it live though. It's a really catchy song, in my opinion. Because a lot of people don't talk about Am I Savage from the Hardwired album, so I'd love to hear that live. Another one that has been performed only a handful of times, Minus Human. They performed No Leaf Clover. They've been performing No Leaf Clover on the No Repeat Weekend tour, but I would love to hear Minus Human. Don't know why they haven't pulled that out again. I don't know what it is. Maybe they just feel like No Leaf Clover was the standout from the 2 new songs from the S&M live concert, but I would love to hear Minus Human, so that's why I put it in here, because why not? Leper Messiah. There's a possibility I might hear this on the tour one of the nights, because they have performed it a little bit throughout the No Repeat Weekend, so it's potential, it's a possibility, but to me it's an underrated, a masterpiece in my opinion from the Master Puppets album, because when you think Master Puppets album, you think Horse Master, Battery, you think of Orion, you think of The Thing That Should Not Be, then you eventually get to Leper Messiah. Like, there's some people that obviously go to Leper Messiah sooner in terms of what you prefer from a Metallica track, but Leper Messiah for the most part is like lower down in terms of people's, like, when you think of Master Puppets, eventually you get to Leper Messiah. Eventually you get there. So I want to hear it live. Why not? Number 9 is going to be Orion. I'm going to hear this live, unless they decide to completely shift and change the 2 set list when they come to Detroit in a couple of days. But they've been performing Orion at least one of the shows on the No Repeat Weekend tour at every single city. So I'm going to hear Orion live. I'm going to be so happy. I might cry. Hearing this live in person. Of Wolf and Man. I was having some debates as I was putting this together, because Of Wolf and Man is one of those songs that I don't think I've heard it live. I've heard through the Never live, but I don't think Of Wolf and Man I've heard from the Black album. But it's one of those songs that is really catchy, and every time I hear it after not hearing it for a while, I'm like, that's a good song. So Of Wolf and Man is there. Number 11 is one that I don't think we're ever going to hear. I could be wrong. Inamorata. It is a phenomenal, beautiful closer from, of course, 72 Seasons album. I would love to hear it live. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to hear Inamorata live in person, or at least just in general. Metallica play the song. If they played at one of my shows in Detroit, I'm going to lose my shit. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. Next up is another underrated classic, in my opinion, from the Load and Reload era, Devil's Dance. They performed it somewhat throughout the years. I remember there was a really good recording, a really good live performance in 2008. I think it was from Download or Rock AM Ring or whatever, but it's like a really great sounding audience as well. But a great sounding live performance for that whole entire concert. And it was at a festival, and yeah, Rock AM Ring, I think it's what it is, Rock AM Ring. And Devil's Dance was performed there. It was really cool to hear that, and that quality, because the quality was great from that recording. Next up, a song I don't think they're ever going to play again, The Frayed Ends of Sanity. I feel like they've done performing the song. They're moving on from it. They haven't performed it, I think, since 2015. I think they may have teased it from time to time since then, but I think they're done with The Frayed Ends of Sanity. They've moved on from it, unfortunately. But I would love to hear it in person. But with how complex the song is, how long it took them to finally play it after finally in 2014 when it was voted on from the audience to actually get it played live for the first time. And Lars messing up the middle section, and overall just in general, not so much like Lars messing up the middle section, because that always can be practiced, and he did land it a couple times. Other times, not so much. But leading into that middle section, the drum little beat, the drum little pattern, the drum break, if you will, I feel like they're just done, because it's a really complex song, and they have other songs they have to get to. And The Frayed Ends of Sanity is a long song, so it takes up time in a set list. So I can see why they probably are done with it for good. I'm throwing in a cover, because I remember hearing this live in 2009 in person, and I was blown away by this Motorhead cover. It was so cool to listen to. I would love to hear Too Late again in person. I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like they've moved on from it as well in terms of when they play covers, but I would love to hear Too Late again, and that's just my personal thing. Jump in the Fire, a song I've not heard live in person. I would love to hear it live in person. This is a great track from Kill 'Em All. Great riff, just a great overall song. I would love to hear it in person. And to finish off, they've only played it once. I would love to hear Fixer to close. I think it's a great closer. Now, Inamorata could be a great closer, but in my opinion, Fixer is the closer. In my opinion, if you're going to close out a dream set list for me, and especially with me building out this 2 set list thing, Fixer is going to be the closer of the 2 nights, in my opinion. So that is set list number 2. Battery, The Four Horsemen, Hell and Back, Until It Sleeps, 72 Seasons, Am I Savage, Minus Human, Leper Messiah, Orion, Of Wolf and Man, Inamorata, Devil's Dance, The Freight into Sanity, Too Late, Jump in the Fire, and closing out is Fixer. So hope you guys enjoyed my 2 set lists. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it, and what are your dream 2-night no repeat weekend set list? What would you guys want to hear from Metallica if you could? Or just give me a list of songs you would love to hear from a Metallica concert or whatever. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was fun to do, and I'm glad I could finally do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.